What's up, all you devils and develettes? I got two more stories to share with you today. You guys can decide which you think is worse. The first story is going to be about a man who chained his girlfriend with a dog chain to the floor in an upstairs bedroom. The second story is about a young girl who threw her newborn baby in a black trash bag and threw it in a dumpster. But before we read the stories, let me say thank you guys for being here. Thank you for the support. And as always, thank you for the continued support. I do have a couple of stories I want to do about cats, but those is kind of hard to do because, as a lot of you know, we do take in and help abandoned, unwanted stray cats and help them. So those stories are kind of hard to do. But with all that being said, let's get down with the devil and let's get into these stories. The first story is about a man who chained his girlfriend to the floor in an upstairs bedroom. On August 16th, 2023, neighbors heard a woman screaming for help from a broken out window on the second floor. And the neighbors were concerned and like, hey, we better call police. So, of course, they called 911. It was about 7 p.m. When the officers arrived, they found that the entire first floor had been barricaded. They couldn't get in. They tried kicking in the doors. They tried breaking windows. They couldn't get in any way at all. Whoever lived there had barricaded everything. They had made it where no one could get in. So after scrambling, trying to break windows, trying to kick in doors, one of the officers finally seen a ladder nearby. They grabbed the ladder, climbed up the ladder so they could get on the overhanging part of the roof, kind of like the porch roof. That way they could reach the second floor window. They got to the second floor window. When they walked in the room, there was a woman. She was standing there. She was trembling. She was crying. She had a metal dog chain around her neck that was secured with a master lock. They followed the chain all the way to the floor where it was bolted and locked to a metal clamp bolted to the floor. And the woman, she was like, I'm sorry, sir. I'm sorry. And the officer, he was like, you don't have anything to apologize to me about. Let me try to help you. So the officer, he found an axe. He started chopping at the chain, trying to break the chain away from the floor. After, 4 or 5 chops, he got the chain broke away. The woman, she was like, thank you so much. The officer handed the chain to another officer. They kind of, got her out the window, got her outside. From there, the officers, they called paramedics to check out the woman who was treated. At the scene, the paramedics had to use bolt cutters to remove the chain from around her neck. So after they got the woman out, they looked around the house. They didn't find anyone else. Couldn't find the man who did this to her. But 2 days later, they arrested a man named Moses May. Moses May was facing several charges, including kidnapping, wanton endangerment, whatever that is, I've never heard of that, and assault, among others. So how this all came about, Moses May and the woman, they were arguing when he allegedly held her down on the floor. During the argument, he grabbed a machete and used it to cut off most of the woman's hair. He also slapped the victim around. He threatened to unalive her multiple times. Moses May also forced her to remove some of her clothing, stating, "You're going to get it tonight. And I told you next time you leave and don't come home, I would unalive you," before he slapped her. He then allegedly tied the chain around her neck and bolted it to the floor before taking her phone and leaving her there. He has pleaded not guilty to the charges. Next story involves a woman by the name of Alexis Avila. Alexis was 19 when she was convicted of abandoning her newborn and given the maximum sentence of 18 years with 2 years of parole. The judge did tell Alexis at the time that he was suspending 2 years off her sentence due to her age at the time of the crime, because when she committed the crime, she was 18. Alexis was 18 when she wrapped her infant with the umbilical cord still attached in a towel and trash bag before tossing it into a dumpster at a mall on January 7th, 2022. Later that night, a group of people who were dumpster diving, looking through trash and digging through trash bags, they heard a baby crying, and they thought it was a cat somewhere or somewhere off in the distance. But as they followed the sound, they found out the sound was inside the dumpster. So they found the infant and they called 911. The child, who was in the dumpster for 6 hours in temperatures estimated to be 36 degrees, survived the incident. You believe that? A jury convicted Alexis on April 14th on charges of attempted first-degree murder and child abuse. Alexis filed a motion to be released from prison pending her appeal, which was initially denied on September 28th. Her attorney appealed that decision, however, and on October 18th, a judge ruled that Alexis could leave prison. Alexis will be subject to the same conditions she was subject to for her pretrial release. In her ruling, the judge noted the appeal raises a substantial question of law likely to result in a reversal of an order for a new trial. One of those rules she has to follow is she's got to stay in her house. She can't even go out in her yard. She can't do anything. She's asking for the court and the judge to modify it to where she can go in the backyard and visit with her nieces and nephews and her family. And the kicker of it all is she wants to get visitation rights to the child she threw away. Anyway, guys, that's the video. If you enjoyed it, give me a thumbs up. If you didn't, give it a thumbs down. If you don't like this kind of content I'm doing, let me know in the comments. If you don't let me know, I don't know. So let me know what you think about these cases down in the comments section. And as always, you guys be safe out there. Take care of each other. See ya.